everybody, it's Lara. How are you doing? Welcome to my channel. It is all about cross stitch for the most part. There's some other stuff thrown in. Thank you so much for returning if you have been here before, and thank you so much to all my new subscribers who have jumped in. I hope you continue enjoying what I am putting out here. So, it's been a little bit longer than I wanted to leave it for recording since last time. Life has gotten a little bit chaotic. My husband and I run our own hammock business, and we are running an event this weekend. It is 2:30 in the morning on Thursday morning, May the 20 somethingth. I never know the date. May 26th. And that is going to kick off today. But I still can't sleep. So, I mean, I probably could have, but we're expecting like 60 to 70 people at this event. And that is a lot of people for me. So I tend to try to just keep as calm as I can and stitch on. So anyways, this is going to probably be the end of my Maynia update as far as new starts and things like that. I made my goal of starting all of my kits, cross stitch kits. I do have some embroidery kits left, and I'm okay with that. I'm pretty satisfied with how far I got. I'll be honest, after about the 15th new start, I was getting a little bit, not really burned out on the new starts, but I was ready to get back to some of my older full coverage pieces. Most of my kits are not full coverage, and I definitely love my full coverage pieces. So I will be very happy when the event is over and I can kind of get back into my semi-routine. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new starts total that I have gotten done, and I did work on a couple of my full coverage pieces. Just I like I said, I was getting to the point where I needed that break from start. Had a blast. Kind of glad it's gonna be over. I actually had the hankering to start one of my other embroidery kits tonight, so I did get one more start in. But okay, so without further ado, let's get started with, oh, and by the way, like, new spot for recording. This is actually my stitchy spot now. My husband did some rearranging of the living room, actually got me a little nook. So I have my master set of floss next to me, I have a table next to me, and I have my poor husband it probably drives him nuts every time he looks at my stuff because it's just kind of bleh, everywhere. Anyway, all right, so first of the last kits is, I forgot to take stuff out, I'm sorry. I've been wanting to record, but I've been really tired, to be honest, at night after everybody's gone to bed, so I've just been going to bed. But at the same point in time, I'm not getting very good sleep when I'm sleeping, so I'm like, whatever, I'll just stay up. I'll go ahead and record. So I'm a little tired, but I wanted to do this. First thing is one of my 2 last China kits. So they call this Rainbow Horse, but I know this is by Pixie Cold. This is actually a kit you can get on geckorouge.com. This has, I think it's going to look really good. I mean, this is pretty much the mock-up of the picture. But Gecko Rouge is going to be a lot more detailed and no back stitching. I'm doing the back stitch as I go because there's a lot on this one. And I got a little bit of a start on this one, not a huge amount, but I'm pretty happy with the little start that I got. Now, I'm not real sure of the lighting at the moment, so bear with me while I kind of get situated in this. So yeah, this is just the top of the horse's neck and the mane that's coming in, and I did back stitch here already. This was actually really fun to work on. And again, I've got a few that are like white on white stitches. They don't bother me. So there was whatever day Maynia that was. I love these colors too. Here, let me show you the colors in this one, because they're just gorgeous. Ooh, I hope I don't regret that. So look at how bright these are. So anyway. Oh, and I wanted to do, this is going to be back and forth, you guys. You know, if you've been with me for a while, you know, no particular order. I try, but it doesn't usually happen. I wanted to do a shout out. I have been watching, and I don't remember how I found her channel, if it was because she commented, and if I see a new commenter, I do try to check and see, or if somebody subscribes to my channel, I pop in and see if they have a channel with videos that, you know, like Flosstube or whatever, and then I'll subscribe and try to get some watching in. So I think that's what happened. But Jenn, the Caffeinated Crafter, she doesn't have a whole lot of subscribers, and she's been doing Flosstube. She doesn't have many videos up as far as Flosstube goes, but she's been doing them for a couple of years, and she cracks me up. She is sassy, she is snarky, she is sarcastic, and I am here for it. She is very much like me if I had no filter in place at all, and I love it. So we've been chatting back and forth in comments and stuff a little bit, and she's another stitchy twin of mine for sure. But I have been absolutely loving her videos, and I don't think she has nearly the views or the subscribers that she deserves. So check her out, give her some love, because I think she deserves it, and I appreciate what she's put out. She has a ton of kits, just like I do. Hers are a little bit more recent, but she does have stuff going back into the 90s. You know, like I have had some of my mother's kits passed down to me, so those are from the 80s. But I've just, yeah. So go check her out. She's who I've been watching the last week or so. So, all right, back to it. Put that back with that. All right, next is, this is definitely an older kit. This is a 1987 Bernat kit. Gray carousel horse. This is the second the second that I have, and this is part of a series that they did. And this was gifted to me by a lovely viewer. Along with, she was kind of destashing some of her kits and know I like horses. And I got a little bit of a start on this one. People were starting to come over and be in my house. I've had people in my house off and on since last Thursday, and I'm gonna have people in my house until next Tuesday. So I'm gonna take like 3 days off afterwards and like wall myself off and just not be peopled for a while. I love the people that are here, but it's definitely, I'm going to need to recharge. So I got some work in on the saddle. Nothing super crazy. And I actually have fudged. I've got a mistake in the saddle that I've already fudged, and you know, it's gonna be fine because it's in one of the negative spaces where there's no other stitching around it. Oh, hold on. There's a spider. Okay, I'm back. I'm okay. I don't do spiders. And it was like zooming across the carpet. Like, I didn't even hit pause. I hit stops, and I have to stitch these videos together. Okay, anyway. Great carousel horse. All right. Next, now this one I picked up at the retreat that I went to last year, Stitching in the Springs. I've talked about it a couple of times now on my channel, and this was on the freebie table, and I wasn't going to start it at first, but then I realized it's actually a kit. I didn't have to do anything with it other than put the floss on a card. So this is actually the only one of 2 true samplers that I own, and I'm stitching. Well, no, that's a lie, because I have the Long Dog sampler, I have the Spring sampler, and then I have this one. This is actually sorry for the noise, a reproduction from 1699 is the date on it. And it's BB 1699. Can't even see you. And I'm not usually one for alphabets or this color palette even, but I do think it's a very interesting picture, and I think the colors are going to look a lot more, not a lot more vibrant, but more vibrant than is actually showing up on here. But there's a blurb, and I'll try and hold it really still, and if you want to pause it and read it, you're welcome to. But this actually really made me fall in love with the piece. Just kind of the explanations of the motifs and sort of the imagery behind it. So I went ahead and decided to start this one as well. And I did get a little bit done. Started in on, keep it folded so you can actually see it. This is on oh, and I'm terrible at telling you stitch counts and kinds of fabric things are on. So if you're really curious about something that I've completely forgotten to mention that on, please ask me in the comments below and I'll let you know. This is on a 30 count linen, and it's done 2/2 threads. And I got some of the alphabet done. Like I didn't even finish the full letter here because I ended up running out of thread at that point. So I just, that was the end of my evening, so I went ahead and stopped. But I actually kind of really enjoy the stylization, and I have seen this particular style of lettering in other pieces like on Instagram since. So it's kind of neat how it's made my awareness change a little bit of what other people are stitching. So that's that one. I gotta put these at least back in the bags, sort of, or it's gonna take me a year to clean this stuff up afterwards. Okay, and last cross stitch kit in my collection that I have started. This marks, with the exception of the Dimensions Butterfly kit, because I still do need to bleach the fabric that came in that kit and like coffee dye it or tea dye it or something, because it's a cream fabric that has gotten bleached over time because it's an older kit, or you know, got left in the sun or whatever. This one is a really big one, but it marks all of the kits in my stash being done. So this is called Dolphins in the Ocean. It's on 14 count Ada, and I'm sure this is a rip-off. It's a China kit. I feel like this is like John Enright. I don't know. One day I'll look up his work. I keep forgetting. It's a gorgeous piece. But it's huge. This one is huge, huge, huge. Now it is 14 count, so take that with a grain of salt, but it's definitely the biggest. I mean, and that's a lot of floss. Yeah, but the colors, again, colors are gorgeous in this one. Some of these oranges and yellows that are in here, look at that. It's so pretty. Now these are, it's a pre-printed kit. I like to do these for like when I'm hammocking. I don't have to bring a chart. I can just, of course, this was before I realized this was a humongous piece. So these are a little bit harder to show progress on because it is like crazy printed. But I started on this angelfish. I really wanted to get him done as for my new start. If you can see, I got these white, the cream, black, pink, yellow in here done. But this is one of these evenings I just kept falling asleep in my chair while I was stitching. So I gave up and went to bed. But this is, I've been on I had been on a midnight run of going to bed and, you know, getting up at, I think it was averaging like 5.5 to 7 hours of sleep when I was doing that. And I was so tired by the end of the day that I was just, I couldn't enjoy stitching. But I just have a hard time staying asleep for the proper amount of time when I go to bed that early. And if I don't get up when I wake up at that, you know, 5.5, 6, 7 hour mark, then I way oversleep and really screw up my sleep schedule if I'm trying to keep one. Oops. And then my last start that I did, like again, I was kind of feeling like I was started out with Maynia, but I felt like starting it tonight. It was just kind of sitting here and I didn't really feel like working on my full coverage that I had in the stand. So I pulled out one of my mom's gifts to me. This is from 1986. It is from the Creative Circle and it is the Calla Lilies kit. And I don't know if you can see, but this is basically, yeah, that's not really translating on the camera very well, but this is like a stuffed embroidery kit. Like the behind the fan will be stuffed, behind the vase excuse me, will be stuff in like the flowers. Excuse me, let me get a quick mic. And so let me kind of show you how that's going. So I've gotten So today I put in all the French knots in the stamens. There's a little bit of back stitching in the lilies. And then this is an outline stitch for the stems. Now I haven't really embroidered much for a long time, so these are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Don't focus on me. And then I went down and I did the fan. Now the stamen knots at the top, those are French knots for sure. And these are called a colonial knot. That one looks super funky on the camera. You can see where my light is kicking up some shadows like crazy. There's some satin stitching in here. Don't look at me. And some more stem stitch. And then there's this, these knots are made with like a candle wicking thread. I don't know where I've thrown it at this moment. I kind of tossed a bunch of stuff around while I was getting ready to film. But it's like a really thin candle wick, basically. And then the other stuff is done with floss. And so it makes a really, like, this is super textured. But it was fun. It was, and it's, the colonial knot is like a French knot just goes a twist around the needle once or twice, sometimes 3 times. It'll usually tell you in the directions how many twists to do. The colonial knot is a very specific directional knot. Like you have to put the needle around the thread a very specific way before you put it through, but it's very similar to a French knot. Now, obviously you can see these pins. I've basically basted it together, but it came with this backing fabric. So you start out with the stitches that I've done, and then I'll go through and there's like an outline that I'm going to stitch both pieces of fabric together. And I'm not exactly sure how much of this gets like attached down, if it's just the outside and then I stuff the fan. But basically once it's all stitched down, you flip it over and you cut a slit in the fabric back here, stuff it, and then whip stitch it closed. And then you go back and do some other quilting or something on it. So it's got some lazy daisy chain, or daisy, I don't remember what it's called. Daisy stitch? Lazy chain? I don't know. So I had a lot of fun with that. I don't know. I kind of want to get this because of the pins. And I like this fabric is really starting to show its age. I don't know if this was cream colored to begin with, but I was trying to take it off the Q-snap and I put a hole in it just from tugging it to try to get it out. So note to self, do not tug old fabric because it might rip on you. All right, so I have one for sure Maynia start on May 31st, and that's my Canopy Heart with Suki, the brown-eyed stitcher, and Sarah from LiveLaughLoveStitcher. We are going to do a sal for Canopy Heart. I hope, no, Sarah and I are doing the Crystal Garden. Laura is going to be doing the Canopy Heart with us. So here, I'll show you. If you haven't seen it, and if you have not been following me, I will show you. Just kidding. I still haven't put it in Pattern Keeper. I'll insert a picture here. That's Canopy Heart. I really need to put that in here because it's going to be started soon. But the next, so last Saturday I had a stitchy meetup with my friends that we met at the retreat last year. We were all local, we were all newbies, and I take my Purple Unicorn by Charlie Darling. I take him with me when I go to my stitchy meetups with them. And that's a Gecko Rouge kit. And I really did not get a huge portion done on him. But I'll show you what I got done. If I can even. It was like in the middle of a square, still parking threads. But I only got like 160 something stitches in. So just here at the bottom of his hair, you can see where I was last time. Don't look at me. Focus on that. So, but I'd show you something a little bit more typical for my channel than what it has been. What am I doing? I don't even know. So, Purple Unicorn, and then Saturday night was a Zoom meeting with Darren, the Disney Stitcher. He hosts a Zoom meeting for every couple of weeks, once a month, something. It depends on what he's going on. And the last few times I've jumped in and crashed his party, and this past Saturday was no exception. And I tend to work on my Supersize Max Color Veil Nebula, so that I don't have to think too hard, and I can still chat with everybody and actually get some stuff done. That's what it's. Oh, there we go. Sort of. So that's what it's going to look like. And I've gotten. I forgot to look. 600 or 700 stitches maybe since the last time I showed you guys. Try to get the washed out color. And Jasmine and Aladdin, you need to move. Come on. There we go. Try to get a little bit better picture for the befores and afters. Yeah. So it's just been black, 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 black. I got another star here and another little star right there, and that's been it. So I am still less than 1% done on this sucker. I have a total, I should have, Purple Unicorn is on 28 count, easy guide from Gecko Rouge. I'm doing that one over 1 full cross. This is also on 28 count. I just grid it myself. It's Ada from China. And 28 count. Oh, 1 over 1 full cross as well on that one because I really need it for the coverage for as much black as it is. So that total so far is 6,404 stitches, and I am at 0.96% on that, with a whole lot of black to go. And just out of curiosity, Purple Unicorn, I have 4,692 stitches in, and I'm at 6.87% on that one. So still quite a long ways to go on that too. All right, so that's what I have been stitching on the last 8 or 9 days. Like I said, I definitely have the Canopy Heart that I will be starting on the 31st. That's next Tuesday, and I think pretty much people will have been gotten off to the airport and everything for the end of the event at that point. Now I also have, I don't know, I'll probably just work on some of my pre-printed kits up at the campsite. I mean, it's literally like 5 minutes up. My dad has flown in from New Mexico. We're in Ohio, and my stepmom works as a traveling nurse, but he flew in so that he could take care of my little guy so that I can just concentrate on helping my husband host this event. This will be the first one that I've been able to, that I'll be able to spend more than 24 hours at one go up there. So that'll be really nice. Other than that, oh, I do plan on doing a mid-year whip parade. I will probably still include everything that I did through Maynia, but I'll put that at the end of the video. That way, anybody who's actually been following me and doesn't want to see all these kits again, since I just showed them for May stuff, you can, peace out at that point. But everything that I have on the go, whether or not I've touched it since I started my channel, I will be showing. And I want to do that as kind of, because I haven't really done a proper whip parade yet. I kind of want to have that marking point for my own records in here. So that's going to happen. And then I don't remember if I had done this last video or not. My days are definitely blending together a bit, but I printed out a monthly planner thing, and I'm not like naming the month or whatever. I just 1, 2, 3, 4 through, but I have kind of mapped out, this is by no means a rotation, simply because it's about every other day that I'll be working on my focus piece, Boudreaux. And then I'm incorporating so far pretty much every other full coverage piece. There's a mayfly in here. Every other full coverage piece that I have going, because and basically the day that I started them, like the date of the day, is when I want to work on them. For example, on New Year's Day, I started Once Upon a Fairy Tale by Amy Stewart, and I've got that on the 1st. We've got the new start on the 5th for Crystal Garden. That'll come out every 5th. and so on. So I have my anniversary start coming up, which reminds me, not only for the whip parade that I've got planned, I'm also planning on doing a kind of not a tutorial, but like how I kind of kit up a project, full coverage specifically, using the friction pens for gridding. I did have a viewer question about like my confidence in them and kind of how they work, and so I want to show exactly why I'm so confident using those, and how I use them to sort of start up. I have yardage of the 28 count Ada that I use, so I'm also going to show kind of how I plan out the size of how much fabric I need to cut out for it, in case anybody were to, you know, feel like they have a need for yardage of fabric for cross stitching, but may not have the confidence as far as like size measurements. I know trying to cut out fabric can be a little bit intimidating if you aren't used to mathing it. So I was going to show that. Not necessarily the floss part, because everybody kind of has their own thing for kitting up the flosses. But for sure, I wanted to kind of show how I prepped for the fabric. So for anybody interested in that, that'll hopefully be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, hopefully the next couple of weeks. I think that's what I wanted to go over as far as plans stuff goes. I did have some Stitchy Kindness again. I don't know. You guys are amazing and awesome, and I'm very humbled and feel so blessed to be part of this community, and not just because people are giving me stuff. That's not why I'm here. But Heaven and Earth Designs had their limited edition chart come out, and I am on a no new charts year, kind of considering doing a no new charts into all the starts next year, but we'll get into that later on in the year. I'm still noodling about that. So when their limited edition charts basically come out for a month, and if you don't get it then, that's it, you're done, you don't get it anymore. Well, Sarah from Peace, Love, and Stitches saw a comment, because I was, you know, kind of whining about it, not thinking, just going, oh, but, and she gifted it to me. So this is called, and it reminds me of one of their other limited edition charts that Chris Ortega did. Now the artist is not Chris Ortega. This is by Tatiana Williams, Wilms, Williams, and it's called, she's called Miss Forever. Oh, son of a piece of junk. There we go. Isn't she gorgeous? And this is a little bit different color palette than what I have going on. So I love her, the look on her face, like she is going to own the world. And I love that it's a little bit different color palette than I have. So she is actually going to be a new start on the 28th. So I basically almost have a new start every week in June, with the exception of the third week. Or the second week. The second week I don't have a new start. That's okay. I got 3 other full coverage pieces coming up. I've got plenty. Now Sarah does also have, I showed this last week, and I hadn't heard back from her, so I wanted to hold off. But she has an Etsy store, Total Cross Stitch. I'll link her below. But she also has a Facebook group, Total Cross Stitch, and she is giving away this chart for members of her Facebook group. So go check her out. Her patterns are amazing. I have favorited think all but, no, I'm pretty sure I favorited every single pattern she's put in her Etsy store so far. So yeah, I'm not sure how fruitful this no new charts for me is going to be next year, because I'm just going to spend all the money on January 1st. No, it really has helped me kind of be a little bit more cognizant of the charts that I'm looking at, and really making sure that I'm not just splurge buying, that I actually really want, or, you know, feel like I will attempt to stitch in the 3 lifetimes that I'm going to live. So, so yeah, so that's going to be a new start. I did get a crap ton of fabric in for my bags. I'm not going to show them. I'm not going to show them here. I think what I will do is, if I will start taking pictures and stuff and putting them on my Instagram account at Alara Designs. So that way, if you're interested, they'll be over there. If you don't have an Instagram account, I'm sorry. I just don't see the cluttering up the video again. I mean, I know that the people who enjoyed it really enjoyed it when I did it, but I'm not sure how much of an interest there is for me to do it again. And if I made a separate video for it and like 5 people watched, it would just make me sad. So that, and you know, time is a little bit precious at the moment. So so I think that is it for stitchy stuff, stitchy related stuff. So if that is all you're here for, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you join me again in my next Flosstube. For anybody interested in hanging out for a little chit chat, I will do some life updates and sort of non-stitchy related plans. So last video I completely spaced, totally forgot. Blame it on Darren, because he has been, we've been making fun of each other. My long videos and his way too short videos. I managed to keep mine down to, like, I think 3/4 of an hour last time, but I totally forgot to actually update you with life. So I did go in for my sleep study, and I got the results back for what they were worth. I did the follow-up as like a Zoom meeting with the nurse practitioner or whatever, and she was like, well, your test came back and you don't have apnea, you don't snore, your legs don't move involuntarily, waking you up. So basically there's no reason why you shouldn't be sleeping. Which frankly I could have told them, because I mean, other than like the apnea or the snoring, but I don't have really symptoms of the apnea as far as, you know, waking up with dry mouth or like excessive fatigue, like I never slept at night, or that kind of stuff. And I do snore every once in a while. There's just very specific circumstances where I would snore. So, and then she basically was like, yeah, we don't know what's wrong with you. Have a nice life. There's not really any kind of follow-up that I was offered. She basically said, some people just, she's like, you would be surprised how many people actually have a shifted sleep schedule like you do, or like you seem to do. She said, if you can make it work, and with the sounds of it, you seem like you might be one of the few people that could make it work. She was like, don't stress about it. Do what works for you. If you feel like it's not working for you, call us and we'll see what else we can do. So it's not really like she just let me back out to the wolves, but it was less helpful than what I was really hoping for. Again, good to know I'm not breathing when I'm sleeping. I'm not trying to suffocate myself while I'm snoring or not snoring. But I don't really have an answer for why I have the oddball sleep schedule that I do, other than just some people are different. So there you go. Because like I said, if I go to bed between like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'll sleep for 8 hours. I'm good to go for the entire day. If I do have like a midnight sleep schedule, which my husband basically, we've had that kind of sleep schedule for forever because we worked in the restaurant industry and tended to be up that late working. You know, so he'll go to bed about midnight, but if I actually go to sleep, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm waking up 6 o'clock, 5, you know, I'm not really getting a full night's good sleep. If I fall back asleep, I tend to want to sleep for another 6 or 7 hours, and that's too long. So I don't know, we'll see if we can. I mean, unfortunately, life is life, and like for things like this weekend, I do kind of need to have a semi-normal sleep schedule. But we'll see if we can. It might just be what it is. Yeah, like I said, we've got our hammocking event this weekend. We've got guests in town already, but they're sleeping up at the campsite. I'm down here with the family still until tomorrow. People start rolling in tomorrow. My husband has smoked over 100 pounds of meat. So I think 40 pounds of chicken wings, 40 or 50 pounds of pork shoulder for like pulled pork and stuff. I think he's got another 30 or 40 pounds of brisket, like beef brisket. And then we've got our Cajun friend coming down, and he's going to do, I don't think he's going to do gumbo this time. I think he's going to do like New Orleans style jambalaya. My other friend's going to do like a coconut curry chicken dish one night. So yeah, if you come to one of our events, if you leave hungry, that is your own fault. Because there is food here. I think I'm going to try, it's been it was very cold for a very long time, and then we hit like 90s, and now it's downpouring. Like we had a huge deluge. We were kind of worried about getting people back and forth across the creek, because our campground is up at a little hill across our creek. And if the creek gets up, you cannot cross it. So we're kind of nervous about making sure people get across the creek safely. I mean, there is a way back across. It's just, you know, miles literally out of the way to get back to where everybody's parking. But that being said, I was really wanting to try and get some spring recording of our property with like the flowers and the greens coming in, and it's just been way too wet. So I will try to get some, because some people had expressed, I did a recording of our winter hang with some of that footage, and I wasn't able to get back to one of my favorite spots along our creek to kind of share. So I'm hoping to get that done this weekend. We'll see. Like I said, it's a pretty soggy back where that is. We'll see. I have a funny story. So I have a superpower, or an anti-power, if you will. So I tend to have a hard time imprinting with people. Like, I'll meet somebody and I'll kind of remember meeting them, but not really. Like, it's I have to have a visual. I have to have like one-on-one conversation, or like I'm not sure. I'm not sure what really stimulates my memory to remember a person the first time I meet them. So Debbie from OwlandGator Stitcher. I'll put her down here because I can't remember exactly her. She's got a Flosstube and Instagram. Mentioned that she was coming to Stitching the Springs, and there's kind of like conversation here and there everywhere. So, and I said something about, it'll be, great to meet you. And she said, I'm pretty sure we have met because we had lunch together last fall at the retreat. And I like insert tab A into slot B, meaning stick my foot in my mouth, because I had to really, really like dig in my memory. And it was Debbie, Tina, and her mom, Tina Frazier. She's got a Flosstube on here on YouTube as well. That we all went to Young's Jersey Dairy, which is a local dairy that, you know, they raise their own dairy cattle, make their own ice cream, and they have a big restaurant. Well, we went to lunch one afternoon, and Debbie sat to my right. Tina and her mom sat across from me. Well, I didn't see, like, I wasn't staring at Debbie the whole time, whereas I had Tina and her mom, so I had a hard time like solidifying Debbie's memory in my head. And yeah, just so that's my anti-power is don't take it personally if I don't remember don't hesitate to be like, oh yeah, we met and had this really nice long conversation, because I'll remember it. It just will take me probably a minute to jog my memory of it. The same thing with, like, if we chat online, as far as like you know, Instagram messages or comments and things like that, I will have a hard time putting a username with, you know, maybe a username here on YouTube with an Instagram handle. So I'll think I'm talking to two different people, even though I actually know that it's one person. You know, and then maybe we've switched over to email, and then if I see you in person, I will definitely have a hard time bringing like which conversations I've had on the phone with people and reconciling it with that person. So don't be afraid. If you meet me in person, to be like, okay, here's the conversation we had, because I'm terrible at remembering. I remember conversations, but not necessarily who I had them with. And what was the other? I made a note because I can't remember squat anyways. Oh, yeah, another superpower of mine is if we ever talk for any length of time in Instagram chat, eventually I will dial you, like the video chat, and I'll like panic, try and hang up. So if I ever accidentally dial you in Instagram, just ignore it, because it's a thing I do, apparently. I'm pretty sure every single person I've ever had any length of conversation with can testify that, yeah, she'll call you and not mean it. I finally found the hang up X button the last time it happened. I stopped panicking long enough to actually see what it was looking like. Is that all my life updates I have? I know, it's not super exciting this time around. That, and if I haven't written it down, I'm not going to remember because I'm tired. The oldest goes for their driver's test tomorrow. I'm nervous for them. I want him to get his license. It's time. It's not like you have to clear out the sidewalks or anything like that. They're a good driver. My middle just had his birthday yesterday, the 24th. He just turned 15. All my babies are growing up. I don't like it. And then, let's see what else. Anything? I got some haul coming in, like actual Stitchy haul. 123 Stitch has the DMC thread card, but it kept going out of stock, so I put myself on the notify list, and it came back in stock. And the last time I waited, I missed it, so I definitely was like, I gotta get it this time. Well, it can't travel by itself. That's not what we do. So I'm not buying any charts. So I kitted up a couple of projects with like the beads and specialty flosses and some fabric. And I did reorder some fabric from Brandy at Bestitch Me. I used my credit that I had for the Cricut cut that happened, and then some because I wanted a piece big enough to one of the two projects that I'm kitting up is going to go for that. So I'll show you that when it comes in. I have like bag haul coming in. That's about it. Darren, look at this. I have life updates and it's even shorter than last time. Ha! So, all right, guys. I will tie it up for now. I'm going to go get some sleep. Wish me luck with all the people coming in. That I don't shut down completely. Because I'll be honest, I'm people weary already. Like I said, I've had people in my house in and out. I had my husband's cousins get here. I'm just gonna keep blabbering. I said it was the end of the video. Just kidding. Just kidding. My husband's cousins came in. They were celebrating who got to be grandparents first. Yeah, we hit that age. Not us. Not us. And so that was that. We had dinner and hung out at the fire for a little bit. And then Friday night, my son had a few of his buddies over and friends, and the house full of teenage boys overnight. So that was exhausting. And then I had a couple of days break, and then I went and picked up, I was going to pick up my friends at the airport on Monday, but weather delayed them and they got stuck for a day. So other friends of ours went and picked them up yesterday because the time was just way out of whack for me to be able to go get them. And then, yeah, everybody's here until next Tuesday. So, okay, now I'm done. All right, guys, I will see you in my next video. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already and have made it this far. And I so appreciate you. Take care, guys. Bye.